jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show. It's the jacked up review show.
Join us as we cover many an insane movie and numerous cult TV phenomenons. Are you ready to get jacked up? Are you with us? Then listen on.
Listener discretion is advised. It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show.
One. Hey! And I got several different riffers on display for this particularly special episode. And we didn't survive all 10 movies. So here with me, introducing to the show, is Misty herself, Tiffany Harding, and stand-up comedian. How are you?
Yes. I'm fine. Where do I sign?
We're art signed now.
Oh my god.
You don't?
I'm just kidding. Go on.
Yeah,
Hi.
that's right. I fucked up. I should have signed a release form for everybody's fucking. Anyway, so, and then we have lunatic monster of the deep himself, Daniel Nightmare Nerd Ryan.
You're not my real father.
Fucking right. I don't want to ever have kids. Anyway, and then we have the cinema drunk of the drunk, Robb and Daniel.
Come to daddy.
Well, there's definitely going to be a lot of that here in this fucking trash franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that'd be appropriate to set it off.
It's very appropriate. Okie dokie. So, Hellraiser, the birth child and bastard child of Clive Barker.
That's a good way of putting it.
You sure
Oh,
are.
Clive.
Poor Clive. Ah,
The
Clive.
man who wrote the rampaging penis monster.
Yeah.
Someone who totally had no problems with women or sexuality or
Macho, misogyny, all the
Yeah.
shit.
no, totally fine.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So, all 10 movies, for better or worse, revolve around a puzzle box that opens up the depths of hell with a bunch of these human-like monsters who, yes, pretty much prey on all the taboos and sins of the world. And, long story short, it's based off short stories, and there was a comic book continuation, but yeah, it was all 10 movies and the bastard child of Anchor Bay and Dimension Films. So we have the Weinsteins to blame for this. And
Much like so many ills in
So-
life.
so, thanks, Weinstein. Yeah, okay. So basically, long story short, I'm gonna circle around. How the hell did we all get into this? Tiffany, you go first.
So I was very young when they started coming out. I think the first one was 87. The first one, yeah, 87. And of course, when they started coming out on HBO, and
The only
yeah.
place you could ever see them.
yeah, was the only place I ever saw him. And I remember sneaking downstairs and watching it on a big wooden TV on HBO real late at night, and it scared the shit out of me. Can I cuss?
Yes. Yeah. We're
Okay, good. It scared the shit out of me.
It's not a family-oriented franchise to begin with.
Okay,
so yeah,
good.
there's no. This is X-rated, guys. So please leave the room
Right.
if you're listening.
So I remember the first time I saw the first Hellraiser, I was probably about 11, and I remember the one scene that got me was when at the beginning where the Cenobites put the guy's face together, and I thought it was real.
The twins.
Yeah, at the
Wins.
very beginning when Larry was his name was
Uh,
first torn apart. Yeah,
No, that
But
was
and
Frank.
let's just call them Arnold and DeVito.
Arnold and DeVito. When they put his face together, I thought it was real because
Oh,
the
shit.
special effects were so good, and it looked like real wet flesh, you know. And he was when the bones and the part of the hanging meat, when you see the hooks grab into him and just tear him to shreds, I thought it was all real, and so I had nightmares. I had nightmares. So like, it's gonna get me, and that's just one of my first memories of being just totally freaked out by special effects. You had those good practical effects that I fell in love with. You don't get that anymore. You don't get that anymore. So I can really appreciate that.
Fair enough. Okay, so Daniel, raise hell and introduce how you entered this hell.
I had an obscure journey into this one. I was totally unaware of these until like my mid to late teens. About the time I was a freshman in high school, because by that point the anticipation for a possible Freddy versus Jason was running high.
Oh, you're young.
And I saw a website that had all kinds of potential scripts. And one of them was going to be a total battle royal of slasher villains. You know, Freddy, Jason, Michael, Leatherface, and Pinhead was in there, and I'd never heard of him before. And that made me curious. And so I looked up Hellraiser, and they did not make a deep impression on me. At least the first one didn't until I was in my 20s. By that point, I developed where I was getting interest in history, also in psychology, and I began to appreciate some of the depths that that Barker was willing to dive into.
See, I didn't get there. I was too young, and I didn't get there until I was in my 20s.
And
You know?
plus, there was some other media that I was becoming a fan of. That some actors there were actually featured in Hellraiser. Most famously, Dr. Chenard in Part 2. He was Pompey in the TV show Rome that I was a big fan of.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bring it around town. HBO. That's a very good point. Did anyone ever see these on AMC? Those are literally the only cable channels I can think that have shown these very heavily edited, and even then, it's rough. There's still some
can't
stuff
say.
I don't remember.
around 06, 07-ish, on rare occasion, they at like after 10, like they would show Part 2. They still do on occasion on every other Halloween, along with Revelations, which is very surprising because that's the most amateur looking out of all these. But yeah, Part 1 they would barely show, and they just would like heavily say, strong sexual violent content. And,
To say the least.
TV-14, but this is really TVMA, but edited down. Rob, how did you enter this threshold?
It was funny because I remember first becoming knowledgeable of these movies when they around the time they released Part 3, and they were showing the trailers, and I remember one time they showed the TV spot, and my mom was like, "Oh my God, they made another one." And here's the great story. My parents had actually went on a double date with my uncle and his wife at the time.
No.
And they went to see Hellraiser because that was the big talk at the time. And I know I said before my mother's not a particular fan of horror films, but she did. It's a date night, so they decided to go. And
It's a great date movie.
Oh God.
yeah, totally.
Fun
And
date.
she said they waited online for seemed like forever. Like it was long line. They waited forever, and they finally get in the theater, and the movie's playing, and the credits going, and the opening scene, Frank gets the box, and he goes and he plays with it, and then the hooks shoot out, and they rip into his flesh. As soon as that happened, Mommy was like, "Done," and she left.
I'm
And
sorry.
this is literally like not even 3 minutes into the movie, and
Mhm.
she said, "To hell with this shit, I'm out of here." Unfortunately, Pop couldn't watch the movie because he couldn't let her just walk out by herself, so he left the theater too. And you guys waited like an hour to watch a movie for 3 minutes. That's hilarious.
Mhm.
But I guess he had regretted not being able to see the movie, so he actually got a copy of it after it was released on video, 1 and 2, and that's where like I discovered the first one, going through his VHS collection, and this was around the same time that I was getting into really getting into horror movies,
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So started becoming like a real serious horror fan, discovering the horror movies, and that became my like Nightmare on Elm Street was like my first big obsession, where I was just like watching a horror movie constantly. Hellraiser was the second one. I would watch
Yeah.
Hellraiser constantly. Like I really became like really into it, especially Ashley Lawrence as Chrissy Tottenham,
Oh yes.
Chef's Kiss. I still
Always
woman
mixed her
just-
up with the Halloween chick. You know her name.
which one?
Jamie Lee
Jamie
Curtis.
No, the other one who's in all the awful sequels.
Danielle Harris?
Yes, I always mixed her up, the two of them up, because they were just always at the same conventions. They didn't really have the same voice, but just brunette.
Yeah, and Danielle Harris is like a midget compared to Ashley Lawrence.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, just at the
Right.
time, see it from afar, and it's like when they weren't in those movies, they would just star in other just action movies or other excuses to go shirtless, and it's like, okay, awesome.
And
He's like one of the famous scream queens. Why can't I speak tonight?
You got it.
I don't. It's all good. My voice is going out, and you're getting nervous. It's all good. So yeah, I was for lack of a better word, I watched anything without putting quality on it. So one way or the other, I was going to encounter something. But a good buddy of the show, Trinity Martin, was a big horror fanatic, and he would talk about these movies endlessly. And I always saw pretty much every movie, if it wasn't being compared to Nightmare, it was pretty much being compared to this. So I was just always aware of it, but was late to the party. And I would just always see parts of the movies, but I pretty much only wanted to just see the trash. I didn't really want to see anything just, very graphic, disturbing. But, I was into X-Files, and I was into, Twilight Zone type shit, and, Candyman and Wishmaster and all that. And, those were those both have contrast, because, Candyman was loosely inspired by a Clive Barker film or a short story, and Peter Atkins, who wrote the first 3 sequels, later, did a draft of the first Wishmaster. So there you go. But
he was also a script doctor on the script for the first Hellraiser.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. That's why the two films connect really well, because he actually worked on the script, cleaning up a few things for Clive.
Yeah,
This is
definitely.
Very wet movie.
And
Yeah.
pun intended. Oh,
Unintended. Oh, it's just like it's got me thinking when you compare this one to other slasher, it kind of hints back at the slashers of the 70s with how bloody it was.
in a way, that's
in a
true.
way.
It is kind of, especially the trailers themselves do kind of just target all the 70s drive-in audience. And at the same
Yeah.
time, this got made because they, Roger Corman can do the whole, I gave him money all day. It's like, yeah, you gave him money, but you weren't creatively involved with this. You just let him run wild through New World Pictures before they got acquired by Fox. But it's interesting how this kind of, there's all these giallo type movies. Daniel and I have talked endlessly about those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
And is like, at this point, they're gonna let you get away with any kind of slasher, and this is what's kind of interesting. Hellraiser is both kind of a slasher and a supernatural terror film, so it's
Right.
It's just one of those that the creator's heavily involved, and then once he's not involved anymore, he starts smack talking, and then the studio goes a different way, trying to make it be part of its horror lineup. Dimension Films. I knew him best for doing stuff like The Prophecy. And so I wasn't really surprised to see stuff like this that had many of the same actors, including, my favorite, Kerry Wuhar.
So, who did Kerry Ruhar play?
Oh,
I'm going-
she's in Deader, and much like in Part 3, she plays a reporter type character.
See, I didn't get past part 2. Couldn't
It's all,
start.
it's all
I
good.
can't believe they made 10 of these.
Oh yeah.
How far
Me
can the
either,
story
but not
go?
the same reasons.
money, money,
I-
money.
Money, money,
I
money.
didn't even know they went past Revelations. I thought Revelations would have been just the fucking end of it. But
Oh, man, please kill me now.
Shut up,
We'll get
Jim.
there.
we'll get there eventually. Yes.
So,
Oh.
Which one has the best IMDb rating?
that is a good question. Because
Other than the first one.
probably 2, maybe
Yeah.
3, but the rest of them are pretty much been torched alive.
So is
Oh,
it
well-
like a sliding scale? Is there no one that stands out in particular after 1 and 2?
We'll get there eventually, but
Oh.
it's still gonna be heated. We're still gonna be shooting out chains at each other.
Oh.
But it's okay. We love each other anyway. Just not Pinhead loves each other. We'll just sum up each one, just our general take, and just leave a short 5-star rating. So part 1. This is the very first one, and I feel like it's a slower film, but it's overall delivers in the second half with just all the terrifying visions. But
Ugh.
when I look at it now, it's too much of a cuck fest for me. So I'm really not as taken as I am. I have more fun talking about it than I do actually watching it, and I can understand everyone else has grown up with it. They swear by it. I get it. That's fine. I didn't have as much fun with it, but it's a must see. The animation has held up horribly.
You think so?
In the final
No.
10 minutes. What the fuck? That looks like some ranking ass shit.
Well,
That-
because it was in Clive Barker's defense, they couldn't afford to hire a special effect house to do the animation, so him and another guy did it
Yeah.
themselves over a weekend, and like while consuming mass alcohol. And he says because of that, he thinks they actually turned out better, than anybody says they are, because they were really drunk as they did the animation.
Yeah. With
Perfect.
the scorpion, the skin scorpion thing that crawls after the
engineer.
daughter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the engineer.
That's very fair. What's their name? I can never remember their fucking
I
names.
thought it gave the effect. I thought the way it looked gave it a kind of unearthly effect.
That's
that
true too. It
you
was definitely
get-
going for that. It's just
I
whatever.
thought
you
it
want.
was on
Deranged
purpose.
Muppets.
Yeah, I thought it was on purpose. I thought it was meant to look unnatural. Like the way you ever see that movie Mama?
I do, but I
The
don't
recent one?
remember it. He's talking about the Del Toro produced movie.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
way that
yeah.
the way that ghost moves is really unnatural and jerky and weird. And I thought that end scene and all of the Cenobites, the way they moved, I thought it was on purpose. I didn't know it was because of the director getting drunk and not being able to make it.
Regardless, though, it is definitely a milestone in independent, indie horror filmmaking, and just showing it. Just make it be about, a house, but it's not even just a haunted house. It's a house with, grim secrets, but it's no Lifetime movie, thank God. It's it's just
If you took the Cenobites out, it would be a Lifetime movie.
without the Cenobites, it would be. But Claire Higgins does a banged up job, no pun intended, as Julia, and
Oh,
she's really great here. She kind of reminds me of
Things to say about her.
Meg Foster in a way. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I've been hogging it too long.
Well, let's wait on that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Andrew Robinson of Dirty Harry and before Star Trek Deep Space Nine is really convincing here as Larry, and he's definitely one of the best horror movie villains in my mind. But
Mhm.
and he's not even the main villain. So-
Hey, Frank is well, it's disputed. Like Frank is the one who sets the plot in motion, but
Yeah.
Julia really becomes
I mean,
the villain.
Sean
I think
Yeah.
she's the villain.
This movie's so terrifying. There's not even a porn parody of it. Trust me, I've checked.
Ah!
And I love how Pinhead, he's credited as Head Cenobite. No, it doesn't even have a
Cenobite.
fucking name.
Yeah, they don't name him until after the second movie, I think.
Yeah,
He doesn't
so-
get the name Pinhead.
he's under you. So I think they advertise him, but just going into this as an outsider it really did disappoint me initially. It's like he's not even in the movie that fucking much.
Mhm. But
Hey.
he's
Well, he's like
iconic.
Lecter. That's his power.
I know.
excuse me. Sorry.
So I'll let you guys take it away. I've been hogging it, but it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. I just don't like it as much as part 2, but I understand why everyone loves this the most, and that's fine. Go ahead and roast me and take it away. Why this did for you? I know I'm a bastard. All right.
I'm shocked. I don't know.
Who wants
I
to
would-
go first?
I would
I
say
know.
the wife is the real villain of the whole film.
Yes.
That's true. Very true. And-
May I interject?
Please, again, I'm letting you guys have the floor now and just give your
Whoever
take.
doesn't know, that was the plan.
Yes.
That was
yeah.
the plan for the
Yeah.
wife to be that villain.
It was
Yeah.
meant to be a three film arc. In the
Mhm.
first film, Julia, she's almost a victim. Frank manipulates her. Second film, she steps up. She's an antagonist. Third film, it was going to be all her. They were going to drop Pinhead and Cenobites. She was going to be the antagonist.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds
But
awesome.
Pinhead proved to be too popular for them to just, leave in
And,
the background.
Claire
Oh.
Higgins was afraid of being typecasted.
Yeah, and she
Well-
also wasn't really a fan of horror movies anyway. She still hasn't yet to see the first one all the way through.
Are you serious?
It
Yeah,
happens.
she
guys.
walked out
It-
after the first 10 minutes.
And I'm okay with that because actors, at the end of the day, they're artists. They hate watching themselves on screen. They
Right.
just
I
are
can
glad
vouch
to be
for that.
remembered. But she'll be remembered for this as opposed to her cameo in what's the one? The video game movie Spielberg
Ready
adapted.
Player One?
Yeah, she has a brief part in
Yes,
Ready Player
yeah,
One.
Yeah, she's briefly in that one.
And I
Ew.
love it. I was like, Claire.
Ew, that movie was terrible.
At the end, skipping ahead a bit here, at the end of the second Hellraiser, that last scene where the crazy pillar rises up out of the bloody mattress,
Uh-huh.
the original plan, it was going to be a throne. And the throne was going to slowly turn around, and there she is sitting in it. She's the new queen of hell.
I would have liked that plot twist.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Oh man. How can you turn that down? Be like, typecast me. I want to be queen of hell.
No, at the time, typecasting I don't know. It just, you often got gigs that you just weren't into, and it just meant, okay, I'm acting to pay the
Being
rent.
stuck with the rest of your life.
I
Yeah.
heard
At
that
a time when that was not profitable.
the guy who played Pinhead, when they came back like after the movie was finished, nobody recognized him.
That's true.
Yeah, he looks so different without the makeup. His head just bulges out way more. But it's interesting how he just had no issues ever playing the role, except for, and we'll get there, Revelations, where they didn't show him the script. So he just said, yeah, I'm not doing this if I can't at least read it before I sign on.
So
But he's
okay,
al-
I'll wait for it because I'm like, wait, what?
yeah, well, long story short, it's just interesting to me how I would have thought he'd have way more careers, but yeah, he never really had as much other than just stage acting gigs. So it's kind of a shame because I think he should have been the guy who stole the show in so many other mainstream movies, but
Kind of like what happened to Tobin Bell. He'll always just be Jigsaw.
he'll be Jigsaw. But fortunately enough, he had so many earlier roles like The Firm and
Oh yeah, sure.
Goodfellas, but he's always going to be. Well, there you go, and he always will be one of my favorite 24 villains. So, just
Yeah.
So moving along.
moving along.
Moving
So-
along.
What's your rating for the part one, guys?
Well,
Out of 5 stars.
Because I'm biased because I've only seen 2, 5 out of 5.
Oh, okay, boom, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Rob?
And I'm gonna can I make before we move on,
Okay,
can I make another observation? I think he bought the box from the same dude that sold the gremlin to Billy Pilsner.
I
Has to
thought
be.
of that. Good observation.
That's how I often described Wishmaster. It's Gremlins meets Hellraiser.
Yeah.
It's horrifying yet funny.
Think about it. That guy is like, what is your desire?
What
I'm
is
like,
It's your
that's the
pleasure.
same.
It's your pleasure.
Did you open this? Yeah, there it is. Did you open a store and sell?
Oh, you know, Devoff would actually be pretty cool in a Hellraiser movie where he's like the main asshole causing everyone harm, and then he gets his body ripped apart. And he's like, "This cannot be."
Don't get the box wet.
With box comes great responsibility.
Would you wish it to be wet? Don't get me going. Rob, what's your rating?
I gotta go with Tiffany. 5 out of 5. It's probably like same as her. 'Cause I'm just biased, because it was something I was raised on this movie.
Well, these are all biased. There is
Yeah.
no unbiased opinion when it's a movie opinion.
Also, I wanted to note that remember when they was doing that for the dick challenge a couple years ago?
I don't know this. Is this a
No, like there was women who were stating in a sort of made up rap like how they all the things they would do for the dick.
Yeah.
I made a meme for that. Julia was the reigning for the dick champion since 1987.
Oh, I see. Yeah, she did a lot. Oh my God.
she
That's so what she said.
lot.
She gets around. She did a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, 5 out of 5. I truly love the film, and I really don't have anything bad to say about it.
Okie dokie.
Hmm.
Daniel is ready.
Even though I'm normally stingy, I give this a solid 5 out of 5. I do agree some of the effects have not aged well, but in terms of sheer originality, you cannot beat this. It really is the tops, particularly for that time period. And especially for its willingness to go there, to push boundaries. You've got to admire that.
I like the boundary pushing. Well, we'll get there. So, part 2. And it returns once again.
What do you say?
And see, this was recently roasted by Joe Bob. The vision is renewed, the power is reawakened, the fear is reborn, because they have returned. It's from the trailer. All right, so... Oh, shit. So, here we go. Once again, the daughter who has survived the massacres in a mental institute. That's right, Candyman. You owe your existence to this movie. Even Terminator 2 owes its existence to this movie. So, but does it deliver? Ask yourself. So, once again, it just introduces this whole storyline of basically the transformation of the origin of Pinhead, and it just starts out with him just pretty much getting blasted with various pins and getting ripped anew, and all the nails are getting stapled in his head. It's frightening. Not really frightening. It's just gross, but it's pretty awesome effects. So, effects wizard and future infamous anime adapter Tony Randall is the co-editor and director of this movie. I just say that because I have a friend who despises the Fist of the North Star.
North Star, yeah.
With it,
That's why I laughed when you said that, because I knew exactly what you were saying.
I just
know
thought
a lot
it was
of people
watchable,
despise
but
that.
very schlocky, and yet I have a friend. He's just like, "Fuck that movie! Fuck that movie!" It's like,
No, I know a lot of people.
if anyone fucks with his favorite comic book or anime, he goes, he gets off his leash. So,
regarding that adaptation of Fist of the North Star, at least it's better than fucking the Dragon Ball Z adaptation.
Dragon Ball Z.
Well, any movie's
It's
better.
over 9,000.
Sorry.
I'll give you this. It's better than Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh yeah, that too. Better than both.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh shit. So, Crispin's exploding head. Basically, this is a career maker. It's also probably the role I remember William Hope from the most before he was just being the British baddie in every other direct-to-video action movie. For those who don't know, he was one of the cocky squad members in Aliens. So he's the sequel maestro dude. But Yeah, he plays the very manipulative doctor in this.
Yeah.
Kyle. Never trust a guy named Kyle. So impressions, just go ahead, fire away.
I think he's
know.
the worst therapist ever.
Oh well, no.
Hey. You never in my mind.
No, well, I want to dispute something Cameron said. He wasn't one of the cocky Marines. He was actually the uptight Gorman who had to be coerced into going into battle to save the cocky Marines after the aliens attacked.
That's
was
why I
actually-
called him cocky, because he just lets out a few lines before he just willingly just gets the grenades ready.
No, he's just an uptight prick, you know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
he proves himself to be
Cocky and prick are one and the same to me. So. Okay, so yeah, I'll give you that. He's a prick. He's not cocky. He's
he's uptight. He's very
either way, he's a shit talker. He's the guy who you leave for dead after he saves your ass in a video game online.
yeah.
One way to say
Last
it.
time I
Thanks
seen-
for saving me. By the way, you can fend him off, you motherfucker, after you've been camping out.
Last time I seen him in anything, he was in Submerged with Steven Seagal. What the fuck is he doing now?
There was that. He was in a few different Wesley Snipes.
Had you been in a Steven Seagal production, there's no going back.
Well, he was in an episode.
How long ago was that?
It was 05, and there's
Oh my
connection.
gosh.
There's connection there. It was by Hellraiser free director, so there you go.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
but he's one of the assholes who talks to Sam Jackson and B movie maestro Thomas Ian Griffith in the first Triple X with Vin Diesel. He's also in an episode of Spooks. Actually, no, not an episode. He's like in the final season of Spooks as a key traitorous CIA agent. That's pretty awesome. All that was missing was just some James Bond or 24 guest appearances. But he's in some Wesley Snipes movies as a bad guy, traitor. So that's just what he played from there, just doing video
Traitors.
game voiceovers and being a few low rent European spy movies. So, but yeah, just general thoughts. Does this movie flow well? Does it outdo the first one? Is it lesser than but still watchable, or is it just outright shit? And I know we all got different takes on it, but just fire away. I need a final version.
Some people say it's better, or as in a continuation, because a sequel should finish telling the story. And even though I didn't finish it, I thought the beginning was very good.
I didn't have time for this. I'm just cramming it in, so it's all good.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
cramming it in, because literally starts at the very end of the last movie, and it came out the very next year.
Yeah, that's true. 87 to
What
88.
was-
That
Thought I heard something. I was saying
I was just going.
um,
Yeah, just imitating.
it literally came out the very next year, and from what I saw of the special effects, especially at the very beginning,
Yeah,
like if y'all didn't have any time to make this and this is what you made, bravo.
Yeah. They slapped
know?
that shit real fast.
But it looks great.
yeah.
I
Peter
will give
Atkins is apparently 80 years old now and a textbook scholar and an atheist, so it makes sense why he was the perfect scribe, I guess, for Hellraiser, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't-
That's great. And I'm in it. No, Tiffany. This is the girl in the hospital. And just...
I see what you did there. Would you rather Tiffany Haddish? Man,
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But no, I'm sorry. If I saw that box, I'd be like, you better get that thing out of my room. Because I saw the first movie.
In a way, I feel like Charles Band kind of owes his career to Hellraiser in a way, because it seemed like he just had all this other kind of gothic, Lovecraftian type material that formed the basis for all these schlocky movies.
Mhm.
Full
Like
Moon.
subspecies.
Definitely subspecies, but I mean, even Puppet Master to some degree is like with the first one before he just
Right,
lets the
right.
rest just be
Game
just
up.
stupid Gremlins knockoff type shit. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, part two. I really like this one. It's my top of the year. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. It's just really, it's just slightly I just give it an edge. It's just for me. It's just I love the vision of hell it depicts. I like how Pinhead's arc, especially at the end where he's having to fight himself, his alter ego, and also just the face tear off at the end. It just delivers on the gore and just the whole psychological inside, you know. I just feel I really love following Ashley Lawrence's Christie all around. I root for her, and just a cool horror heroine.
Horror heroine.
No,
Yeah.
I mean heroine. Sorry, I mispronounced. Jesus Christ. I like the homicide detective, even though he's kind of useless overall in the narrative. So Angus, more like Angus.
Let me follow you because
I know you're gonna roast
uh,
it.
no, I'm not gonna roast you, because that's your opinion.
Yeah.
and you're welcome to it. But
Oh yeah.
I believe when they get to hell, is where the movie loses me. It's just that
Mhm.
hell is just like, I mean, it looks okay, but it's obviously like just one long hallway set, and I just don't. I just think it's like it looks good, but it's boring. Like, just give me Bill and Ted's Bogus Journeys version of hell.
Yeah.
I guess that's just it. I wasn't.
the basket.
It was slow and it was definitely dragged, but for me, I don't know. Even with the sleaze in me, I get bored by all the sex in part one, and this one it wasn't so sleazy. It's just like just get on with it.
Oh no, it's sleazy at all here. Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you think they were trying to tone it down to get a wider audience?
I think they just felt that they've already shown all the terror. We just can't justify having all of them back, so we just gotta have the dread of her ghosts along with being hunted after the rest of the Cenobites, and then go for the Hell Realm.
No, I actually got another answer for that. Well, from what I gather, I listened to the commentary of part two. It was with Tony Randall,
The Anchor
Ashley,
Bay or the
yeah, and Peter Atkins, and he really wanted to do his own thing. He did not want to continue on from the last one, and the times where it connects to like where Christy finds Frank in his own personal hell and stuff.
Frank.
That scene was put in there merely as obligation to close off Link to the first one and he didn't want that scene in there at all. Like Tony Randall kind of comes off as like prickish a bit in the commentary. Like, yeah, I didn't want to do that. And,
I heard he was an asshole.
Yeah,
So,
like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And yeah, I just put that in there, just get it out of here so I could start fresh. And it's just like,
so it's his ego talking. He wants to.
Yeah, like, yeah, all the stuff.
Too.
All that silly stuff was toned down mainly because of him, because he really just wanted to do his own thing with this one, while not having to like continue on from what Clive did in the first one. So yeah, you can call him pretty much somewhat of a prick.
He's a total prick. He's definitely Tony Randall. Just listening to him just sounds like just any of the characters from who just get their demise in this franchise. Just waiting for you to just be ripped apart and your cranium to drop to the ground.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's what happens in Inferno. It's just it literally looks like a giant apple just falls to the ground when the character gets ripped. Plunk.
Smush.
Smush.
No. Do you think the practical effects in this one are better? They make up for the sloppy. Remember how you said that the last scene, like the last 20 minutes of Hellraiser 1, the animation's kind of goofy looking. Do you think it's an improvement?
Oh, I absolutely would definitely want to. If I were getting to the makeup industry, I would definitely want to review at least the first 5 Hellraiser movies in terms of makeup. I wouldn't follow any of their storyline, but I would definitely just study up. Some of the face rip is questionable, but overall, I really like a lot of the makeup. I mean, just the pins alone and all that, and just the art direction of how they depict hell. I like that. The music by Christopher Young is still consistent. It's just kind of a shame that, like so many other people, he ended up just having to combine his score into other compilations, so you couldn't get certain tracks. He had to pretty much buy his best of collection in order to get like some of the end scores. I'm like, God fucking damn it, why?
I love Christopher Young's scores for this one, and particularly the first one. Like the first one with
Music's the
Frank's
key in
regeneration
Hellraiser.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank's regeneration scene in the first one is particularly my favorite thing that
Yeah.
Christopher Young has done.
Dun.
Next to his main theme for The Fly 2, I think is my favorite
Oh
thing.
God, that that
That's a
song. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is years before scoring movies like Rapid Fire, Swordfish, and believe it or not, I always got a Hellraiser aspect from Sinister, and he apparently scored that one in Emily Rose. So there you go. That makes sense.
No,
In the Sinister that came out in like the early aughts.
Yeah, he
The
also
one
did
with the
he also did Deliver Us from Evil, which I always considered a non-official superior Hellraiser sequel. So
he also did a Spider-Man 3 because Sam Raimi had a falling out with Danny Elfman, and he replaced Danny Elfman with Christopher Young. And if you listen to the score for the scene where Sandman basically becomes Sandman, the whole
Yeah.
like
I definitely remember that. It definitely felt like it belonged in a
Yeah.
different movie.
it definitely felt like this was like a more like operatic version of his Hellraiser score was that scene.
For sure.
I
He did a good job with Angel 2, Avenging Angel, which finally got a score release, Nightmare 2, and Species, which is definitely the score I've listened to the most. Yeah, so he's firing on all cylinders for the first two films. He really does just give you an idea of just the anguish, the dread, and yet kind of at the same time kind of hints that he welcomes you. It's like, no, you should check it out. Be morbidly curious. You should check out what lies beneath here. I invite you to this hell.
I
Second.
still don't want to go.
Meant
Looks
to be
very
invited.
unsanitary.
No, I'm not going anyway. But for a movie, fuck yeah. A movie, it's a whole different universe. It's a whole different texture, for lack of a better word. So,
Oh,
give you guys this final ruling. Just give a 5-star rating. Just final thoughts.
Oh boy.
Well, we're gonna go through a different kind of hell eventually. So, Daniel, right up to the podium. I'm making you stand up. Stand up in class. Come on.
3 out of 4.
All right. Well,
No,
no, this is
not-
a 5-star
not-
rating.
Not as good as the first, but not terrible.
Well, it's a 5-star rating, so you really mean more of a 2.5? Or...
I guess. Sorry, 5-star. I guess. Yeah, still 3.
All right. So.
There's some drawbacks there.
All right. So it's a 6 out of 10. Okay. Cool. Rob, fire away. Fire torpedoes.
I'll go with the 2.5 out of.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I will not. I refuse to roast people based on the star rating. This is the whole point.
No. It half of it is good, and then once they get to the labyrinth and that is hell, it kind of loses me because it just wanders along aimlessly. I mean, moments with the
No,
Cenobites-
I'll give you that. It is a little unorganized just getting there because it seems like they were just interpreting all of Clive's scripting and just loosely editing it, and Tony and the editor are just bickering back and forth, just trying to get it done on time instead of what makes logical sense for the drive-in and mainstream movie crowd. So,
right. I also don't like how easily Gennard Cenobite defeats the main Cenobites. I don't like how easily they're beat. Like
after all that build up, yeah,
they barely put up a fight. I don't like how they take Julia out of the story. She just gets sucked out of her skin. It's like it's just like, come on, like you're not even trying here at times,
Yeah, I would rewatch some of the movies for your podcast. It seems like this kind of just descends into every other thriller or mystery. Everything's strong until the last 10 minutes of Act 3. And with horror movies of the 80s, it seems like that was a thing. It's like everything's fine, and then now you got to tack on the shock. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't match up because, it's not a problem for Giallo, a stylish franchise. A mainstream audience will totally accept a random, studio movie.
Right, totally.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag. I for me, it just, I don't know. What doesn't work as a script, it just worked for me just in terms of the visual storytelling, but I totally understand just people just saying, fuck this, I'm out. So
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, feeling down? Feeling low? Not enough podcasts about movies in your life? Why not try
They must be destroyed on sight.
the new Podcast Cure-All? Sure to get you right with the world and on a path to better living. We have exploitation, we have Italian horror, we have zombies, we have slashers, we have crime films, we have spaghetti westerns, we even have sci-fi and sex comedies. So take a dose of
They must be destroyed on sight.
as needed, and let the hosts, Lee Russell, Daniel Harper, Paul Romali, and the odd guest host cure what ails you.
Warning, may cause atrophy, African consumption, black fever, bone shave, chin cough, colic, cramp colic, dropsy of the brain, elephantitis, grocer's itch, jaundice, mania, miasma, mortification, palsy, Pott's disease, rheumatism, scurvy, St. Anthony's fire, summer complaint, and worm fit in some people. Consult a physician before listening.
Hey, I heard you like movies.
I heard you like to hustle.
I heard you like podcasts.
Well, guess what?
There's a podcast for you out there called The Home Video Hustle.
Damn right.
Every Friday, we talk about whatever movie PJ picks out the bag. What does that mean? Every Wednesday on our YouTube page, I put a bunch of movies in a bag, and PJ picks one out at random. And then we just watch it. We talk about it for maybe like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever we feel like doing, wherever the conversation leads us.
But do we actually talk about the movie?
Most of the time. Tangents galore.
Yes.
So believe me, we may be a movie podcast, but it's not always about movies. We may talk about video games,
Music.
Yeah, that's the big one, music. Sometimes we might get a little bit of politicalness in there.
Yes.
Sometimes we may just, we know what we like to do. We like to tell stories, PJ.
Yes.
I am the master storyteller
Yes.
of the podcast realm. Undefeated. So if you like to hear about movies, video games, whatever foolishness comes to our mind, the most random stuff you could think of, check out the Home Video Hustle. You can find us on the Stitchers,
Yes.
the Google Play,
Yes.
Apple Podcasts,
What else?
Podbean,
What else?
Podcast Addict,
Goddamn.
all that. Ain't no reason you can't get your hustle on. We everywhere, worldwide, baby.
Hustle, motherfucking hustle.
Hey, we can't cuss in the promo, PJ. We
Ah.
gotta be family friendly. There may be podcasts out there that don't want his hair say
Ah.
all
Yeah.
that good fun stuff.
Well, you.
Yeah. don't run the listeners away, PJ.
I'm sorry.
But this is going kind of long.
Yes.
So we'll end this and say, hey, check out the Home Video Hustle every Friday on all the various podcast outlets. Peace.
Peace.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. And while Witch didn't make it to the top of the world, he did make the Gangs of Hollywood podcast. So join the gang and enjoy a movie review podcast about movie gangs, gangsters, mobsters, and the mayhem they cause. You can find GOH Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at GOH Pod at www.gohpod.com, as well as your favorite podcast listening app. And remember, say hello to your little friend for me.
If you take two old punk rockers who are past their prime, put them in front of a movie screen, and give them a podcast, what do you get? Cinema Punks. Cinepunks. It's the mixtape of movies.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of her.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history all popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was going
How
to be a
did you
rough
watch
one.
this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. With a one-last plot holes of gratuitous movies. It's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy at eilfm.podbean.com.
We now continue with our program.
So then we get to the first dimension films entry, Hell on Earth.
What about me? Notice me, senpai.
Oh, well, okay, what's your incomplete take on it?
Okay. Because I haven't seen the whole thing, I'll say 4 out of 5 for the first half an hour.
So there you go, guys. Watch the first half, and if you like what you see, do or do not continue to the second half.
Yeah.
The choice is yours. Welcome to
that's it.
hell. All right, so He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I mean, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
I really like that movie.
I do. Well, I do too, in a trashy kind of way. I actually would like to see Dolph Lundgren, who's worked with many movies by this director, be in a Hellraiser movie. So, the closest you'll get is the Minion. Anyway, so, yes, pre-Deep Space Nine, Terry Farrell is a reporter and has to fight the second manifestation left over from part 2 of Pinhead as team up with him against evil Pinhead. And so yeah, basically this is the Terminators, but in the Hellraiser kind of universe. You got plenty of cop action and nightclub massacres. So yeah, general thoughts, fire away.
Nightclub massacres with 2 Hellraiser Cenobites, basically. That's it.
And so, well, that's and some bad acting Cenobite henchmen. So, yeah, you got that too.
Degeneration in terms of from here on out, it was all about the Cenobites having some gimmick.
Yeah, so they changed focus.
One of them's got CDs in his face. Another one's got a piston in his head. It's like they lost touch with what there was about to be supposed to be about.
Right. The Cenobites were the most pointless thing ever in this fucking movie. Like, just that CD head. Oh my god, the one with the J-Pin Monroe played by Kevin Bernhardt. We had he was like a steampunk Cenobite with the fucking pipes through his head.
Yeah.
And the one with the cigarette. Oh Jesus Christ! It's just like
Harry.
when you list like the type of Cenobites they are, it just sounds like the stupidest shit because it is. It's just like
I thought it was cool.
So what was the movie about? Because I haven't seen this one.
At least one
literally Hell on Earth. That's what it is.
Yeah, it was hell of watching it. That's what it felt like.
So there's no more callbacks to the first 2.
There's callbacks, but it's very brief.
Yeah.
But it's showing the next saga of Pinhead's ancestors and just showing him go through Vietnam. And so you got a lot of those kind of chaotic flashbacks. It's got a very metalist score, which I own. And it's...
Oh, yeah, the Lemmy did the main
Wait,
jam.
From Motorhead?
Yes. Actually, no, I take it back. I don't have the metal soundtrack. I have the actual score by the Randy Miller. And it combines an orchestra along with some just kind of deeper tunes.
Yeah.
I can see why many people swear it off. I totally understand. However, contrary to popular belief, Clive Barker had no problem with it, even though he was only involved halfway. They filmed...
Got a check. He got paid. He doesn't give a shit.
No, he actually liked it. If you read the Hellraiser books and their legacy book, so, but most people don't do that. They unleash their hate on the movie and say "fuck it." Okay, fair enough. It's my favorite of the franchise, so
I know. I remember you saying that before.
I know. To me, it's a perfect double feature with Waxworth 2 by the previous director.
Waxworth 2 is fine with me. This shit, I don't know what the fuck.
I think you're getting a little too attached to the first one and just not letting them do their own crazy hell.
It seemed like there was an intent to make Pinhead very Freddy Krueger-ish.
Everyone says that, but see, that was the...
But it says here...
That was the point with part 2, though. So for me, I just feel like he holds his own as his own movie, and everyone just likes to overcompare it.
It says it came out in 92. Freddy was passé by then.
Yeah, I know, but part 2 was marketed to cash in on Nightmare.
Oh.
So, but yes, part 3, I can understand. He does play up to the camera. There's even... I think the priest is played by this one guy who's been in some Romero movies, and for me, it's just a fun escapade. I understand everyone hating it. I get it. I do. But at the same time, I just judge every movie as its own deal. I don't try and jump on the popularity bandwagon. I don't give a fuck.
Oh.
But this used to this one air. I know, how dare me? But this air.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying it's fine if you like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like we're not here to judge you. I'm just here to get my rocks off and saying.
It looks like it flopped when it came out because it only made $12.5 million at the box office.
It made its money, but it also is the highest grossing and the second highest grossing. But yeah, I definitely recall vaguely this playing on UPN and the Spanish channels for whatever reason. I don't know how they fucking edit this for network TV unless they have some serious scenes. Yeah, that's true. You'd be surprised what does get aired, but there's other ones like, I mean, RoboCop, they edit all the time, and it drives me nuts.
What a dumb idea.
Yeah, terrible idea. But this one, I can understand, but at the same time, I mean, it's going to be rough. So as for me, I enjoy in kind of a Terminator kind of way. It's just a fun, just good versus evil thing. Yes, much like part 2, there's some scenes that drag back and forth between, just showing the heroine. Here, I can never say that right. The protagonist, and I'll give you this. The main rock star, he's full of himself, and the sex scene just isn't needed, but it's not graphic either. But this is also the first one where Gary J. Tunnicliffe gets involved.
Yeah.
I just like how it's moodily shot and a little suspenseful. But,
yeah, I've always appreciated Tunnicliffe's, like, he's good at, like, making severed heads. Like, his severed heads always look pretty realistic.
Yeah, don't get his resume of bad movies mixed up with his talent, guys. Come on.
No, he's good. Tunnicliffe is usually the best thing. Like, his makeup effects is the best thing about Dracula 2000.
Oh well, I didn't even know he worked on that. I just knew he worked on X-Men.
Yeah, like you know, Tunnicliffe is working on a movie when his severed heads actually look like the heads of the people that he's made up. You know, like I remember specifically in Dracula 2000. Omar Epps gets his head severed, and it's like that actually looks like Omar Epps, the severed head, you know.
Jeez.
So,
That's
yeah, so
craftsmanship,
like
that is.
yeah, like he's really good at his job, and he's usually the best thing. Like specifically in this movie too, he's like I really like the makeup effects in it. Uh, Terry Farrell is a fine protagonist. Like she's good.
She's hot. She's so fucking hot.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know.
But she is a very
back.
underrated. But she's also just a very underrated actress in general. Who had she not retired, had kids, she should have just been in way more movies.
Like, I mean, you gotta admit, Cam, we're biased too because she's Dax from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, but I'll do even better. She's in the Dawn of the Dragon Wilson movie, Red Sun Rising. She's with Hellraiser and Inferno Star in the hysterical disaster movie Deep Core.
Oh, that's right, she was in that. Wasn't Will Wheaton in that too?
Yep, he dies. And
yeah, I remember, and I thought it was hilarious.
and she's on an episode of not Galaxy Quest, fucking Quantum Leap, and she was on Becker, and then the rest of the time just did other TV movies of the week. I just thought she was just a good TV actress, and
Becker, the reason she left Deep Space Nine?
Rick Berman. All you need.
Oh
to know.
yeah, that's right. Rick Berman is. Yeah.
Fuck hell.
Let's
Before J.J. Abrams burned in hell, Rick Berman.
Yeah, let's just stop right there before we go on to how much fucking Rick Berman sucks.
I think I probably got an idea from you guys from your conversation. I'm not sure though.
We're gonna make a lot of Star Trek references, especially with the next one, and I'll wait in a minute. So Daniel.
No. My overall rating for this movie. Oh, jeez.
Go for it. There aren't
2
wrong
out of 5.
opinions. 2 out of 5. I thought you were gonna go 0 out of 5. You hated that much.
Some cool Cenobites, but otherwise nothing to write home about.
I abstain because I didn't see it.
It's all good. We're here to torch you.
It's a solid one. A solid 1 out of 5.
Oh, shit.
It's insufferable. Like, I mean, the one comes for their moments. There's moments where it was like it felt so immature, especially the acting, where I got a chuckle. Like that blonde, hey, you get the rose. Oh, come on. The blonde chick, and like she has her big like moment. You bastard! And it's like, oh my.
Yeah, Anthony Hickox did kind of imply that he already had trouble with the gal who refused to get naked, so he just said, "We'll just, cup your hand over her breast." And...
that is true. I mean, she's nude, but you never fully see her nude. His hands are cupping her breast, like the cover.
Hickox doesn't play well with any divas. He already had to deal with this on Full Eclipse, and I'm sure he had to deal with it on Waxworth 2. But yeah, Waxworth 2 I think is better at its hell. I like the chaos in this movie. I understand, yes, not imperfect acting, but I didn't come to it for that movie. But I understand.
Right. Also, the bar massacre scene is pretty fun.
Yes, soundtrack kills.
Yeah, that was pretty fun, and I also like the line delivery from the big street battle with the Cenobites and the cops.
With all the cops. They got shotguns and everything. They're like, what the fuck is going on here?
No, I particularly like the part with the one female cop where the gasoline pours out the car. Oh shit, gasoline! and they got blown up. I thought that was hilarious, like her line delivery.
Yeah, these fucking Hickox has to state the obvious. So
yeah, like oh yeah, we're not gonna get it. Gasoline pouring on the floor toward the fire. Yeah,
I recall her saying it more as, "Oh shit, gasoline."
No, she goes like gasoline. Like yo, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But other than that, solid 1 star. I cannot get into this one.
All good. So then, Hellraiser in Space, Bloodline.
No.
This comes out after Star Trek First Contact. Now, I don't care if I'm the first person to say this, and trust me, I've checked. You hacks. You stole from Star Trek First Contact. You retooled it. I know you did.
Yes.
You have an origin story and them going back in time and they're in space. I'm sorry. And then some aliens type, Doom type battles on. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So this is the final one of the franchise I ever saw, and I don't mind it because I saw them all.
Yourself lucky.
I can understand people hating it, but yes, this is one of the earliest Here's another Star Trek First Contact connection. One of Adam Scott's first movies.
Yeah.
That's right, Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Plays Jax.
I think like his first major role was this one. He admits too that he felt like validated as an actor because horror movies were a big deal. So
He even tried to apply for roles in the other movies, hoping they wouldn't remember.
See, I remember we had a discussion about this, like actors who like own up to their previous roles in like schlocky horror movies, and he's like, for him, like him to go on to great success after Parks and Rec and other various roles, for him to not only admit he was in Hellraiser Bloodline, to actually admit he's proud of being in Hellraiser Bloodline, because he felt invalidated as an actor, is something I really appreciate about Adam Scott.
Well, more or less, you just don't like it when it's hasn't even been 10 years and already people are just talking shit. It's like, come on. Just give it time. It's a business. It might be why the movie
Validation.
you for. And so, years before we have all these, superhero movies and people getting spoiled on how much they're being charged, I do appreciate it when it's just like, yeah, I worked on that. What do you think?
Right.
So, yeah, 96 a big year for blockbuster movies. This is the final theatrical movie. Well, I take that back.
Oh, they started going straight to video?
Straight to video.
Yeah.
Shock.
It's destiny.
It was... Oh, yeah, so now I should go into Tenacious D mode. It was destiny. All right. It's a Tenacious D reference. Sorry. So... Did you guys even see this in the theater?
No way.
Home video?
No, I saw none of them in the theater.
All right. Yeah, it's not like they played that long. They were just. I wonder what it'd be like to be like an usher or the doorman at some of these theaters. No, you cannot take your kid into this movie. Oh.
And this one in particular, something I can't help but point out here. The Chucky franchise has had fewer movies over a longer period of time, but it has not gone straight to video as much as Hellraiser has.
I think Leprechaun and Puppet Master has a beat, though.
Aren't they still making Leprechaun movies?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Fortunately, unfortunately, depending on who you talk to. The funny thing with Leprechaun, though, is part of the appeal is how he embraces the bad, and yet it's still bad. Kind of.
They're still making Sharknadoes too.
No, thank God, no. Thank God, no. They stopped.
It wasn't even funny the first time.
Nope.
Sharknado is self-aware.
It's self-aware, and yet
which
it still
makes it not
sucks.
funny.
That's
Which
why I don't
makes
like
it not funny. Yeah, it's not. No.
It was the first one was funny because it's self-aware, but it's still low budget enough to where
It was
it's
self-aware,
it's still
but Tara
shitty.
Reid wasn't.
Yeah,
That's
Tara
what ruined it.
Yeah, Tara Reid is trying. Like Ian Ziering, he's like, he's just like whatever, I don't care. But like he's still giving effort. Like once they started getting to celebrity cameos and shit, it was like, oh god, you guys are losing.
Yeah.
The only thing I really like about Sharknado is Steve Guttenberg from the Lavantula franchise appears in one. Yeah. Those movies I fucking love because those are just a fun throwback to 80s disaster movies.
I genuinely enjoyed Lavalantula.
Lantula.
Yes, and then two Lavantula. It's just really because he also reunites with his Police Academy co-stars. It was just fun. I had fun. And
there's one scene where he's with Michael Winslow and they're riding in the truck.
Yeah, isn't he making some noise?
Yeah, and you can see you can see Steve Guttenberg is obviously trying to stifle his laughter. Like you can see he's trying his best to just not laugh, but Michael Winslow just continues.
Oh yeah, and the one other gal who just has this squeaky voice is also in there.
Yeah.
She's still around. I remember her.
I love her.
Yeah.
You should see that movie just for her. She's fucking awesome in it.
Leslie Easterbrook in that one too.
Say again.
Leslie Easterbrook in there, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
She's in there but she's not with the rest of them. She's like has her own portion of the movie.
Yeah, she's in like different scenes with him, but yeah, it's
yeah.
Whew, yeah, all good. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's your bloodline.
I was starting to zone out because I haven't seen the Hellraiser movie since the
all
second
good.
one.
So 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, 2017, at near DFW Airport, there was a Texas Frightmare Fest, and Kevin Yeager, who went by Alan Smithy,
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
was actually signing autographs for this movie. So I guess he's embraced it, or just wants to make a buck off what he's best known for. He was a special effects wizard. Joe Chappelle, who is best known for every other crime show, like The Wire and CSI Miami, was directing reshoots because he'd done that for every other Dimension Films release. I feel like the movie just changes up enough with all the flashbacks. I don't really see like I do with the editing room, just two different forces opposing each other. But it is one of those, you either take it for what it is as an aliens in space type movie, or you just don't bother. But Pinhead really doesn't have as much screen time, except in like the first, killing of one of the main characters, and then just in the second half with all the space police people. So
space police people.
Yeah, they all have this aliens type armor and guns, and they're all getting dispatched Doom style.
Jason X.
You mean like Predator?
Yeah, like Die Hard.
But
in
he's
space type thing.
Okay. I'm bored of it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't think this one is that bad. Like there's a lot of it I like. I do like how Pinhead is kind of is like his old self. He's more serious, less jokey than he was in the third one.
The way he walks down the hallway is actually a good shot, because and who scored this fucking movie? It was Daniel Leaked, who later scored Dexter and the 91 creature feature Children of the Night. And he got into film scoring by the suggestion of his former classmate Christopher Young. So there you go. Networking is a good thing, people.
Yeah.
So this is probably his most mainstream movie out of doing a bunch of direct-to-video made-for-TV horror movies or sequels to shit. And yeah, it actually makes a lot. It had a budget of $4 million and it made $9.3 million. So there you go. But I will say the spaceships in this, I would have seen a movie just based on that alone. It would have been like, okay, let's have Hellraiser in space.
Hellraiser in space. Just like Jason was in space, the Leprechaun was in space.
I was gonna comment on that. I can actually take this one serious compared to those, which I kind of enjoy, but in a trashy way.
Can you really take the Leprechaun in space being serious?
Well, no, you can't. But I mean, I enjoyed it in a so bad it's good way, because how else do you enjoy Leprechaun? I mean, it's fucking Leprechaun.
But I remember my ex Di. I introduced her to the Leprechaun. The first three, because they came in a triple feature set, and we binged it over a weekend, and she absolutely loved them. Like, she thought they were great. And she was like, "Oh, are there any more?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's a few more sequels. So go get them." I'm like, "What?" So I go to the store, like the video store that used to be around here, and they only had In the Hood and Back to the Hood. They didn't have.
Because he got lost on his way back.
Right. So she wanted to see In Space because she wanted to, completely watch all of them. So she ordered In Space, and ironically enough, that's the one that she ended up disliking the most.
Oh shit!
Yeah, she absolutely hated Leprechaun 4 In Space.
Yeah, I can't blame her.
I don't blame her.
She said just
Although
like-
I actually, for whatever reason, people said it was boring. I actually wasn't bored. I was just like, yeah, I know what's happening next. This is so lowbrow. It's stupid. But I kind of. And I base movies also, if I can make fun of you, you're not a complete waste of time. And so that's just kind of where I just go with Wishmaster. Not Wishmaster. I mean, God damn it. Why do I do this? That's where I go with Leprechaun. It's Wishmaster, but I'm laughing at it unintentionally. So
also with Leprechaun, Warwick Davis is just such a fucking joy in the role.
he is wonderful.
Yeah, he is absolutely. Yeah, you can't get enough of Warwick. He's the link that holds the series together. Although he's not in the last one, Leprechaun Returns. The guy who replaced him was pretty good, so that's why I enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
that
that
Leprechaun
guy...
was fuck you, dude. No.
Mm-hmm.
The Leprechaun Origins one was awful.
And said he was basing it on Heath Ledger's Joker, by the way.
Oh my god. It's not see, that's the other thing. People are
Really?
looking at it all the wrong way. It's just like
Inspiration.
when it's a campy franchise, you don't take it serious. You have fun with it. And that's what's the problem with all these horror franchises eventually, or even action movies for that matter, is just they always eventually just get to that one entry where it's like, I'm really not having as much fun because you guys are just taking it way overkill. Just reshoot that, please. So
I always wanted to plan a sketch where like it's a horror movie and they finally get to space, but they play it straight. Like you see the monster like going to flight school, and you know what I mean. It's like, all right,
what movie is this?
No, just like Freddy in space, and then you see him like doing NASA training. It's like, all right, Freddy, through the gyroscope, you know, in the centrifuge, like, it's like, all right, we're ready to go. Punch. Freddy's gonna punch the Shirley Bonds of Earth. Kiss the hand of God. You know what I mean?
Freddy in space would have been pretty bad. Yeah. I might have seen Wishmaster in space, maybe Candyman in space, but it would have been stupid still.
Yeah. And then he's like, and then you see him like getting the rocket, and he's like, ready, 10, 9, 8, 1, launch.
Right.
And he's like sent up to the ISS to do a spacewalk, and then he comes back, and then that's the movie.
Jesus Christ. And he comes back down, everybody's a skeleton. I should go back into the future, find out how they died. Oh. This is actually a rejected script for Lost in Space.
Right. They put me in the wrong movie.
Fucking movies, man. Damn you, New Line Cinema. So, critics pretty much negative or positive. I just say that it's ambitious, but Kevin Yeager took on this job because he didn't want to work on Tales from the Crypt. Actually, no, he was hired because of his experience with that. Okay, so and basically if you see it in any of the other packs, just knock yourself out. This is kind of embraced more by horror fans than it was back in the day, and yet at the same time, pretty much the only person at the time who liked it was Entertainment Weekly, but those guys are kind of snobby. So basically Dread Central and was half and half on it. TV Guide absolutely despised it. AV Club thought it was messy but enjoyable, and yeah, that's what it is. So all good. And it's one of those, I do think the religious elements are better inserted and the mythology is better, but at the same time, it's just because Peter Atkins knew it was his final entry, so he's like, I'm just trying to have this make sense to non-fans and wrap up the storyline, because we're not really having any of the alter egos at this point. At this point, we're just having a 1700s storyline and incorporating it into space, and it's all convoluted, but I never once just felt like there's lots of stuff missing. I just was just kind of casual. There is some sex in this, but it's not to Skinamax level. Although Valentina Vargas, Trinity Martin, and I both note she looks like Nomi Rapace. Girl with the dragon tattoo, gal.
I can see that. I don't see it.
Yeah. She's at least cute. Come on now. Bruce Ramsey, also known as the Toy Maker, is a Canadian actor, and he's worked a lot with Steven Soderbergh, and I guess that's why I don't mind him. He's just not the typical kind of just leading man, but I felt like he was up to the task at least, as opposed to just being someone who looked uncomfortable. Yeah, his current gig is on the one Canadian procedural show, 19-2, where he's a commander. But yeah, he's been in other movies like Cronenberg's The New Age. Not Michael Tolkien's The New Age. All right. So, yeah, everyone, roast it or praise it. Give me your thoughts. Please.
I plead the fifth.
Plead it. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Plead the fifth.
Fire away. There are no wrong opinions. Jesus,
Right.
I am not a snob. I am not going to be like, how dare you?
All right. Hush you.
Hush. I got to host my own show.
I give it a solid 3 out of 5. I really liked a lot of elements. Like, not everything is successful. Adam Scott looks particularly goofy in that fucking colonial.
He has a rockin' hairdo. An old people period piece mode. At least he didn't have a fake mustache.
That's true. And but I do like. There's a lot I do like. I like really just Pinhead in it. I like he felt like the Pinhead of old. The special effects, like the CGI, doesn't hold up really well, but like they have some model stuff in there that's really good.
The only CGI I can think of is the decapitation of him in that one timeline.
Also where the space station closes in order to defeat Pinhead in this one.
Yeah, by that they exhausted it all. So
yeah, probably totally. But I do like that. Some of the Cenobites was cool, like the twin Cenobites where their face fused together.
That's where they really look like Doom monsters, especially that giant dog they got.
Oh yeah, the dog was great.
That's terrifying. What the hell?
I really like the dog, but yeah, solid 3 out of 5.
More of a Doom movie than the actual movies of Doom.
Ha! Well, we still have yet to see Denis Villeneuve's new one, so we'll see.
I'll take it over any of the bad Alien sequels. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, fire away. Fire on all fours or
1
half-ass.
out of 5.
There you go. That's fine. No, and
All
closing
I'm gonna
thoughts.
say is to quote the great socialist, Chemenka, that I will escape to the one place not corrupted by lousy movies. Space!
What?
It's a reference to a computer game.
Oh, went over my head. Sorry.
Yep, mine too.
You heathens, that's Tim Curry.
No, that's I
Was it?
never played any game that had
Tim
fucking
Curry in the
Curry.
Red Alert game saying, I will escape to the one place not corrupted by capitalism.
Capitalism.
Yes!
Oh, now I want to see Tim Curry as Pinhead. Fuck.
Oh my god, that would
You've
be
done it.
awesome.
You've done it.
Do it. Do it.
That would be
He
awesome.
can't these days.
No,
No,
he
he
can't
can't,
move
but I'm
around.
just
He
saying.
can't move around much anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
So-
now I'm sad.
That's all good. On to part
gonna-
5, known as 7-2. I mean, Hellraiser
Are we
5.
gonna do- Are we gonna do all of them?
Yes.
Oh no, I gotta go to bed soon.
Okay. It's been great having you on the show. I'll go ahead and plug your stand-up.
Okay, yeah, I do stand up. We have a show tomorrow. Please join and watch me literally make a fool of myself.
Is it virtual?
Yes, it's
Just enjoy.
free. It's free. If you'd like to donate, please do. Free show. Go to litcomedy.com. Get a ticket.
She lit. Light 'em up.
Yeah, comedy with the Laugh Index Theater. See me and some other comics perform. Zoom meeting. You'll get a link. It's free. come check us out. Please donate, though. Please. But 8 o'clock tomorrow and Wednesdays. It's me and a bunch of other comics. We're DC-based comedy theater. We are online now, virtually, but we come from. I know, right? We come from mainly DC, but thanks to coronavirus, we come from all over the country now.
DC in the hood.
Mm-hmm. Well, mostly the Beltway.
The Beltway. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, please come
In
check
the
us
butt.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
love Cinebites, and I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, and I can't wait. Have fun.
You look like you're looking forward to it. Jesus.
I am, because I crammed the first movie again to get ready for this, and I forgot how squishy the movie really is. You don't get it. You don't get it these days.
I hope it gives you more material.
Yeah, it does. And I think I'm gonna write a bit about a horror movie in space where they actually
in
go to
space.
They're like checking air. All right.
Oh, good.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Lovely having you on here, Tiffany.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Time to go to bed.
And then there were 3.
And then there were 3. Don't rush me. All right. I take it everyone's seen all the rest of these?
Not quite.
Yes.
Part 5, known as launching the career of then unknown, sinister, and deliver us from evil. Director and writer Scott Derrickson.
Yes.
And produced by Joel Sison and W.K. Borden, who did plenty of movies for. Borden did lots of action movies for First Look, and Sison, produced a lot of the other stuff for Dimension, like The Prophecy. So
yeah,
Hollow Man 2, Highlander Endgame. So
isn't he a particularly writing producing partner with Patrick Lussier, who did Dracula 2000?
Mm-hmm. And also did the second unit for this. This is later shot by Directors Guild winner Nathan Hope, who for his work on CSI, so he becomes this CW CBS cinematographer. But this is a gorgeous looking movie.
Yeah. This is. I saw somebody say this years ago, and I agreed with them. This is kind of like with Max Payne, if the horror elements were turned all the way up.
That's an interesting point. I didn't think of that, but yeah, this is if Max Payne went from vigilante to just a crooked statutory rapist. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And it's one of those. I didn't realize that right away. Oh shit, that gal is clearly 15 or 16. That fucking asshole. What did you do?
Totally. I mean,
Nicholas
what would you
Sartorial looks like he just came off an episode of NYPD Blue, because that's literally what he just came off of. So that's when he left that show, and he's on here as the detective partner who suspects his dude. So it's a detective movie, but it's also I really did get the Seven vibe, especially when he's looking at the photographs and he's asking the questionable creep in the ice cream truck.
Right.
So yeah, Barker bashed this before it came out. A lot of people weren't going to even bother with it. Esquire Max magazine praised it and called it Jacob's Ladder 2.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Predecessor to Silence Hill. I didn't really get that, but I understand it. I just like how it's back in a house once again, just like the first one. And it's pretty much this guy. I just dug the plot twist at the end, and Craig Schaefer, he'd already worked on Nightbreed for Clive, so he's definitely already in mode. I wish he had been a bigger star, and he got fat and started doing crappy B movies. So,
like Turbulence 3.
Yeah, Dracula 2, and although that's actually pretty watchable compared to.
Yeah, the Dracula 2 and 3 is actually not bad.
Yeah, he's even on a episode of. He's in a 2-parter of CSI, and yeah, he's a good actor who unfortunately is like his semi-mainstream, because this got played on cable TV quite a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know what, because it had to be like the Spanish channel, and definitely not Sci-Fi. Probably maybe USA Network, and I can't think
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
USA.
After Up All Night. I really like Pinhead's portrayal of this because he only appears at the beginning and near the end, and you don't connect the dots until the end. The scene still for me is James Remar as the magician, Dr. Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
He had previously worked with the beautiful gal who was in part 4, but yeah, for part 5, I mean, I know a lot of Hellraiser fans who swear by this one, and the ones who didn't like it were just ones who gave up years ago, mostly. So please, just go into this. It's the first one I ever saw the franchise, so I'm biased in that regard. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like this one a lot. I like like you said, the the comparisons to Seven, and especially Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder comparison really fits in this one, but like
It's a
Scott
Twilight
Derrickson-
Zone episode with Hellraiser.
and I was gonna say that when we start talking about the other ones too, about the Twilight Zone, like it really that's what the series became.
Yeah.
After this one, it basically becomes the Twilight Zone with Pinhead as Rod Serling.
Mhm.
From here on out. So
Right, very much. And the irony is, I watched them all out of order. Here's why: it's not just because El Rey Network was playing them out of order. It was also just because I needed a movie to make fun of, and so I would just always go for just direct-to-video made-for-TV sequels. And then it would just be funny how half the time I would end up actually surprisingly enjoying the movie while I was riffing. So I would just stop riffing.
Right.
This one I didn't even get out a peep. I just hooked me from the start. I was like, holy shit, what is this? Okay.
Right. That's like how I felt when we was talking about it. How I felt when watching Phantasm 4. Like you think you think it's gonna be silly, and then you end up actually fucking watching it.
Exactly. And it's played on cable TV the most. So I just put TV aside. I know you hate part 3 of that, but you seem to hate anything part. That's the part 3. That's not Return of the Jedi, but that's okay. Part 3 is often the weakest of any franchise. So,
I also like Star Trek 3. So.
Yeah, I like Star Trek 3. It's just
love Star Trek 3. So that disputes your theory that I hate all part 3s right there.
Oh shit. Well, plus it's got Kirk Fu. How could you turn it down? But so Daniel, I'm not gonna let you be quiet in the corner. Yeah, what's welcome to hell, baby. What? Just fire away. Fire away.
Like I saw, maybe 2.5. I mean, it's good writing in my opinion. The script is really great. It's original. It should be gripping. It should be a real great mystery story. But the way they do it is so god awful boring.
Boring. Damn. All right.
This movie dragged for me unimaginably.
Did either of you ever make the mistake that William Sadler was in the movie, only to realize, oh no, it's an unrelated actor named Nicholas Sadler? Oh.
No,
that one didn't occur to me. No.
For whatever reason, I thought, oh, William Sadler's in this movie because I go for all the TV guides just to see what violent and sexy movies were on TV, just like every other cable file. And
I always remember that actor from Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ! No,
he was the kid on the ledge that Stallone tries to talk down, and then
I don't remember anything about that movie. Probably because I've only seen 5 seconds of it.
I watched.
Oh boy!
Not too long ago, and it's pretty shitty, but it's actually a cute kind of shitty.
Oh Jesus Christ! Oh. Can you give me my gun, which I don't have, but I imagine I have?
I mean, there were so many scenes in this that should have been great. The torture in the ice cream truck, when he's watching the telescope, but they just did it so friggin' dull.
Dull, man. Damn. This was pretty fast for me, so I don't know.
It dragged. I was falling asleep when I saw this one.
You were falling asleep? Jesus. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I better watch it. Maybe I might fall asleep too. No, that's not true. I watch these all after 2 a.m. because that's the only time I can watch them because everyone else is going to be like, what the fuck are you watching? Yeah, go ahead. I don't know what else to say other than that. It's it's an acquired taste of a movie. If you want to just see a detective movie, and everyone, I'll argue this. I do think Pinhead actually fits into the story. It's just, if you can handle him having hardly any screen time in the first movie, you can handle him being hardly related in this one. So Hellraiser fans are a mixed bag for me. If you're gonna complain about him hogging the scenery in part 3 and 4, and then hate that he's hardly in this one, you got to set a standard.
that was the remember, I'm old enough to remember the days of IMDb message boards, and that was a constant, like, discussing this movie. That was the biggest argument.
Who's
the
in
argument
this
over,
movie for?
yeah, Pinhead screen time, and it's like, and like every, the defenders of this movie, me being one of
This
them, it's
strikes
like,
me, the script that was not meant to be Hellraiser, but
Right.
the studios tagged it in there anyway, saying, "Oh, we gotta make some extra money with this."
right, but it's like, the complaint about the amount of screen time is like, dude, he was barely in the original. Like, he wasn't
even
the
main character.
he was just he
role.
was a side character in the original. Like, how the fuck are you complaining about his appearance in this one? The amount of screen time he has in this one. Like,
just like Star Wars, there is no consistency.
yeah.
How dare, and yeah, now I'm gonna get some hatred. How dare you compare us to Star Wars fans? We're better than them.
Nah, fuck it. Just say it. The Star Wars fans are the worst. I don't give a fuck. I'll say it so you don't have to.
Kiss fans.
So there you go. Hellraiser fans are the second worst to Star Wars.
Yeah, like, I mean,
Depending on who you talk to. I remember someone, I kid you not, who thought Revelations was actually underrated. I'm like, what the flying? No, and no. Even as a Hellraiser movie, no. It's not even a movie. It's made for $100. We'll get to that. Yeah. Fuck that. Oh my god. Okay, so where were we? Okay, just final conclusion. So, watch it as its own movie. If you don't like the other sequels, you're not going to like this one, but you might actually, because there's some people who have liked just, I mean, Scott Derrickson even said it himself. He hated all the sequels, and he made this one as a tribute to the first one because it was his favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it hated part 2, part 3 and 4, bored him to tears, and he's like, okay, I got a job. I got to make a sequel to one of my favorite horror movies of all time, the original. So,
yeah,
it was his foot in the door, and he later incidentally works with Christopher Young on all those other movies, including Emily Rose. So yeah,
he turned out to be a damn fine filmmaker. I didn't like the fucking stupid jump scare at the end of Sinister, but Sinister
that stuff
was really good. Deliver Us from Evil was real good. I like that one a lot.
I swear by that one. That one's his best movie by far.
Yeah. I think he agrees. Like, he really, he faults the failure of that movie to the studio who released it, because they released it in I think in the summer. He felt
you're not going for chills unless it's something like Scream or a comedy.
But I remember he's probably he said on Twitter, I believe, that he was the proudest of Deliver Us from Evil. And he's a pure horror guy. Is the reason why he left Doctor Strange too, because he wanted to make it more of a horror film, and Disney obviously disagreed. So he said, "Fuck you, I'm out of here."
Yeah. Pretty much. What would you? That's. I think this franchise overall, as a whole, even those other movies that he was working with, would have been better had they been through Sony or Lionsgate, because those guys, they had their infamous moments like any studio, but they seem to be better at just getting the numbers and getting the audience just in the seat and letting you decide. They don't give a fuck about critics, but they'll feed you right away and make sure you know that this movie is out playing, waiting for you. So I think had this not been in Dimension Films, the Hellraiser franchise might have been less infamous than it already is. So what do I know? I can dream. That moves us to part 6. Dum dum dum. Hell World.
No, Hell World is part 8.
No shit. Hellseeker.
Is part 8.
Hellseeker, which the Hellraisers in their legacy book, which I've been using to cite this all the time, the director who's cinematographer Rick Boda, who's I probably know him best as the cinematographer on Jericho TV show. But I think he does a good job of making this look very theatrical, even though each of these movies are made for like $2 million a piece. But what I never thought of is the author in that book noted how Boda, also a dedicated fan, got approval from Clive Barker for this, and no one talks about that except in that book, which sucks. It's like, he approves of this one. He's like, you got the vision of hell right, and this marks the return of dun 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 Kirsty, played by Ashley Lawrence.
Yeah, I
Only been a
will
better
definitely.
It's all good.
Definitely,
And this feels a lot like The Matrix, and in that comparison in that book that they note. And I was like, yeah, looking at The Office, that's a total homage to Keanu Reeves when he first realizes, some masked men in suits are coming after him. We enter Trevor, also known as pre-Captain Mayhem in all those ads, Dean Winters.
I always remember him as O'Reilly from Oz.
Yes, he's fresh off Oz and playing Cassidy, the dipshit on SVU, Law and Order. And yeah, he's Mr. Indie, and he does this movie. I surprisingly, despite everyone talking about him, they haven't talked about him as much. But in recent reviews, everyone's always joked, yeah, the one where Captain Mayhem. And I am convinced at this point this was his audition tape for that role. Captain
got me.
Oh, Jesus. He's also on Rescue Me. And, oh, that's right. He also shows up as Raymond Kane on CSI Miami. But yeah, and I always thought he was a decent actor, even though he's always being snarky, jerk-ass idiot or comic relief. The only role I ever had an issue with him was on the Terminator TV show, where I just felt like he just was either miscast or just not 100% in that role. But then again, his character was annoying, so that might have had something to do with it. So anyway, here he has one chaotic day, and once again, Pinhead is mostly saved for near the end, but it's some glorious ripping apart. But that's all I'll say. It kind of just feels like it's a totally different movie once again, but I don't know. I just enjoyed the weird distortion, and the music video style editing kind of complements it as opposed to takes away from it. Sorry, go ahead.
That made me seasick. Gave me motion sickness.
I gave you motion sickness.
Oh.
Huh? Can't win them all.
I got a love-hate relationship with this one. No, I it's obviously they're following in the footsteps of Inferno, like they try to, be like in that same tone, and I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with a lot of things in the movie. The problem I have is the return of Kirsty.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have her back, and I'm glad to see her interacting with Doug Bradley again. But they cut out, and it's in the deleted scene section on the DVD. They cut out all the links to the original because Rick Boda's excuse was that he wanted non-fans to be able to get the story of this one without having to without having had seen the original one. And I'm just like, fuck them. I want to, I want to see the continued, relationship of Kirsty with Pinhead. I don't give a shit if they haven't seen the first one. Fuck them. Like, what about the diehard fans that have been following this fucking series?
At this point, you're straight to video. Go for your fans.
Right.
And she's a bitch in this one. Holy shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I'd let her fuck me and kill me, but I'm just saying.
Your words.
I know, and I'll die by that sword. So, but what's awesome is just it's like yes, guys, we're gonna spoil the whole franchise for you if you haven't already been listening to the last hour. But I love how fucked up the final plot twist is. A plot twist can make or break a movie for me. if I just feel like it isn't tacked on, I just go with it. And I just like, that's pretty fucked up. I like how it just looms out with the crane shot. All the detectives are like, "Are you okay? How'd you survive the car wreck?" And she's just like, "Yeah, in order to escape hell, I had to frame him for all the murders while he gets tortured by Pinhead in hell."
Right.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, but I think she comes off more as a bitch because they took out the the footage between her and Pinhead.
Yeah, I definitely
she just
need to buy
comes
those
off.
DVDs and watch those deleted scenes. But yeah,
Yeah, she comes off because of that. She comes off like a straight bitch, and it's like Daniel says, complete 180. Whereas with the deleted
and it's
scene,
weird. Does she
Well,
shoot him in the head and then he crashes, or does she just keep holding him at gunpoint and then he crashes?
Well, they're not really deleted scenes. They're more like extended scenes because But yeah, it's like
It's chaotic how they edit it, and I think they were intending it that way. Yet at the same time, it wasn't perfect. It was like,
yeah.
So again, did she shoot him in the head? I didn't hear a gunshot, but I heard a lot of other noises. So. Jamie Reynolds is interesting. I'll give it to him. It's cool to just see him be a leading role for once after just years of just recurring gigs like Homicide, Life on the Street, and so here he is. Just I had no issue with his performance. Other people probably wouldn't have fared so well. They would have just been like, you're a character actor. You should stick to that. So
he's great. He's great in the lead role.
Yeah. Groovy. Alrighty, and to cause further confusion, the first of two movies released in 2005, but filmed in 2002, shortly after the release of Hellseeker. And Box Office Magazine praised this, and other fans didn't even bother it and said, "Fuck you." It had an isolated preview screening to build up the hype. So, whatever the fuck that means. So it was written by the guy who did the 13 Ghosts remake, whatever the fuck that means. And this one feels almost like it's copying that last movie, but it doesn't have anything to do with it. But as a Kerry Wuhar movie, it's so worth it. Oh my god. Go ahead, fire away. Tell me I'm wrong. I am. I know I am, but it's a fun movie. It almost feels like a sequel to the other Prophecy movies that Dimension is releasing around this time. That, ironically enough, you watch Prophecy 4, which also has Doug Bradley as the main demon. It feels more coincidentally, even without his presence, like a Hellraiser sequel. And this one, I don't know what it is, but it feels like a sequel loosely connected because it's making use of all these Romanian settings. All right, go ahead.
Did we already move on to Deader?
I mean, we're going to eventually. I mean, so.
I don't recall us giving our ratings for Hellseeker though.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah.
Is there a rating?
You know what? I'm going to assume that Daniel's rating for the last one is a 1 and your last one is a 2 or a 3. So
2.5. 2.5.
Gets consistent from here out.
Consistent.
all right. So let's get out the
once again, yes, like in part 3, you have a reporter. Difference is, it's about a cult who has an immortal connection to Pinhead, and yeah, this is where I first just mainly heard about Hellraiser. Because like, hey, Kerry Wuhar's in this. Does she get naked? Yes, she does. I'm watching this movie. So, seriousness aside, I don't know what to make of this other than that it's watchable, but it's really not remarkable in any way, shape, or form. And the slow motion at the end makes me chuckle when Pinhead's going, ho, 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 ho. As he's ripping a guy apart. It's just like, what the fuck? So she's an abuse victim. So yeah, we're going back to misogyny.
Yeah, it lost its touch by this point. Beyond lost its touch.
Yeah. And Doug Bradley, ironically, kind of had fun working on this movie somewhere in an interview, but he's Doug Bradley. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that. It's just fun to watch. Gotta give it a free.
That title, man, that title.
That's a shitty title.
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
I'll go with I haven't seen this in a while. If I can remember, I didn't particularly like it, so it gets
Fuck it. Just fuck it.
it gets a 2. It gets a 2. It's like you said, it's very unremarkable. And
I like the part where Carrie holds a gun and tries to shoot someone.
I think you like every part with Carrie. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't? Come on.
Wonder why.
If you got a fixation there, Cam.
And you guys love all the Lena Quigleys and all the other Scream Queens. And I'm just like, put her in a movie. She's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. Give me Beastmaster 2 over this.
No, fuck that movie. No, fuck that.
She was a lot better in that one than she is in this one.
I didn't see any cleavage in that one. No. This.
Is that all you care about? Is seeing Carrie Ward naked?
Well, I mean, and the voice.
In some cases, Yeah.
In some cases, Daniel, we're getting all particular here. Oh, Jesus Christ! Where were we again? Okay, so
Deader.
So Deader, yeah, it is what it is. It's stupid. I still like it better than Hellworld. Hellworld is where it goes all Saw, and that's what's weird because they filmed it before Saw, and yet that's pretty much what it comes off as. A Matrix type Saw type video game, and once again, just again with the cults. What is it with the cults?
The only thing that will remain memorable about Hellworld is that we get to see Superman himself get his dick sucked.
I don't even recall that, but yeah,
Henry Cavill. There's a scene where one of the chicks at the party gives him a blowjob, and that's the only thing that's memorable thing is that we get to see our future Superman get his dick sucked.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't like the sleeves in this. This turns me off. It's like it's just because it's just catering to the lowest common denominator. It really is. It's like this sums up the video. It's like, going total eyes wide shut type Saw type Matrix Cyberpunk. I would have sworn it was in the 90s had it not been better shot. But boy, howdy, this movie fucking sucks.
Yes,
pun intended.
It is really fucking bad.
But if anything, Lance Henriksen has another thing to be proud of. He can be one of the few actors. There's actors who've been killed. You know, Bill Paxton is the only guy to be killed by the Terminator and the Alien and the Predator. But Lance Henriksen has that and Pinhead and the bugs from Mimic and the Screamers. So suck it.
Yeah, but you know, the worst thing about it is that Lance Henriksen really does not give a shit, you know, and Lance Henriksen, he's one of those actors where he could do a movie where he doesn't give a shit, but still be professional enough to give it like an effort. He gives no effort. He just totally just
He in the book they do say he enjoyed working on it because he got to vacation in Romania. So there you go. I think he was too busy partying every day and not. He's giving them to use. It's not good.
Got to make the best out of a shitty situation, being in shit movies like this one.
Well, that in many points with all these actors, that's part of the bargaining chip. You get to work with your wife. You get to work with so and so. You get to get a free Miami vacation.
Right. These are basically vacations. These are like excuses to fucking vacations. You know, I get to spend a fucking couple weeks in Romania or however long they shot this piece of shit.
Yep. Yeah, well, I didn't really have too big an issue with the performance, but I see what you mean. It's a very muted one. It will never be on his underrated or best roles. Not even. Right. Most people will forget he's in it, even though he's like one of the first people titled based on whatever DVD cover you get.
Yeah, totally.
So to the non-canon, in my argument, Hellraiser Revelations. I saw this for fucking free on AMC, and I still wanted my money back.
Right, that's what it is.
Victor Garcia, director of Return to House on Haunted Hill. So he's already a hired gun. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He has nothing to work with. Doing shit like Mirrors 2 and 30 Days a Night, which I kind of like for some reason. Damn.
Oh, he did that one too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mia Kirshner and Harold Perrineau being vampires. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember 30 Days a Night too. I didn't.
Oh, that's right. His most recent movie was The Damned, also known as Gallows Hill. Oh, that movie fucking sucked. And that was for hours. So, ironically, it was more of a Hellraiser movie than Hellraiser here. God. I remember there was a meme that Trinity Martin and other people used to throw around, and they were pretty much equating whichever, Doug Bradley's Hellraiser to, like, I forget what it was. It was like a signature brand of food that everyone fucking loves, top of the line, great tasting food. And they take a pit. I don't know what it was, but it was. But it might as well be Weenie Tots or whatever the fuck. But then they take a picture of this fucker who's playing Pinhead here, and they have greater value. Great value, yeah. That you just get at every other Kroger when you don't want to buy Brahms. How dare you not want to buy Brahms?
Cream puffs.
Yeah. So. It's pretty, yeah. This guy actually does look like a fucking cream puff.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
But, Jesus Christ. I even have a line of dialogue here from it. Unless you want to taste her blood, feel her freshly razored flesh against your own, you'll sit in silence. We have no desire for you. You have all... He even describes these banal beings, but that's just exactly what it is. Just all banal. Just bullshit. It was released in a single theater for a crew screening. That doesn't fucking count. And actually,
probably
it was open to the public. That's right. Whatever screener it was at, it was like Jeepers Creepers 3. It was an exclusive screening, so that's why it made my worst horror movies of the 2000s. Of the 2010s. Holy fucking shit! This came out in 2011, and yes, by this point, anyone who even remotely defends this, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is not a popularity contest. This is about just, I don't know how you could even like this movie. And in all fairness, Gary J. Tunnicliffe, the makeup guy who has contributed in the script, said that they didn't follow much of any of his script. And when they had just ironically, some of these actors later went on to guest star on popular TV shows, but boy howdy, all the acting on this movie fucking sucks. Oh god, just Canadian actors and amateurs.
We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, they had to, but I would change my name if I ever got in this movie. I guess the only thing interesting about it is famous voice actor Fred Tatasciore, who's currently doing Looney Tunes and Hulk voiceovers for this generation, is the voice of Pinhead, but I didn't even fucking know it was him, just whatever take that they used. So you look at even what they have on Wikipedia, it looks different from the clamshell that most people see, but yeah, Dimension Extreme sucking is perfect summary. I will give this a negative 1,000 out of 5 stars.
I will second that notion.
Negative 1,000.
They can't all be Doug Bradley, but they didn't even try here.
Yeah, and this is the one where Doug said, "You're not showing me the script. I'm not in. Fuck you." And this is the one where, yeah, Clive Barker finally, just having enough of Dimension, just wrecking his franchise, just went on Twitter saying, "This is no fucking child of mine." The rant that everyone has retweeted since. Dread Central sums this up perfectly. Not only does this make all the other sequels seem great in comparison, you can easily confuse this for a mockbuster for the people at the asylum. Oh god, this makes Asylum look good though. Oh my god,
this seems like a fucking
Sharknado.
I don't want to give any praise to Sharknado, but damn it, there you go. Sharknado is better than this.
Yeah, totally.
Shot over the course of 3 weeks. And see, here's the thing. If you have your shit together, you can make a good movie in 2 weeks. We've seen them with Night of the Living Dead remake and all these other movies, but god damn it, what the fuck? This is... I can't even tell you the plot. All the plot here is just saying it way too nicely, and shame on anyone who had anything to do with this. Even Joel Sison. What the fuck, dude? I get that you wanted to hang on to it, and you're working for De Laurentiis, new line, you gotta get your money, but the Mexico setting, you won't even remember that it's in Mexico after it's all said and done, and it's amateur hour, and damn you AMC for playing it every year. It should not be acknowledged. They play it as they're part of 30 Nights of Halloween.
Of course.
Every year, and it's just like, no. Yeah, it's a tormenting, yeah. I just saw it for free, and it's just like, this is non-canon. I think anyone can agree, but here I was in a mainstream nutter group on Facebook, that's the name, and someone was actually praising it. It's like, you troll. What the fuck? So back to Hellraiser Judgment, and that's the one I'm mixed on. I should rewatch it. We're back to Sevenville. And you can watch it for free on Tubi. And this is after the Weinstein...
Why would you want to?
It's been sold to Lionsgate at this point, because Weinstein's going under, and I know Paul Taylor, who was in Sin City, got some praise as Pinhead, but at the same time, he's also got bashed for not being Pinhead enough. So, go ahead. Launch away. I gotta rewatch it, so I have an incomplete rating, so I won't.
Just like just about every one that came after part 4, just this was not Hellraiser. This was not the intent of the script. They tacked that on to try to make more money. Because Lionsgate does that shit.
Yeah. In this case, they just were the buyers. Ironically, this is the first one to shoot in North Carolina since part 3. I don't know what it is with the tax incentives there, but it's a thing once again still. So they shoot it cheap. They have some, believe it or not, Schindler's List references to all the... And the director makes a cameo. Gary J. Tunnicliffe is finally in the director's chair, and he has a lot of big love for this, but yet... after this one, it was rumored that David S. Goyer was supposed to be developing a reboot, but that's clearly dead because now they got the whole HBO anthology thing coming up. Rob, fire away. Does this redeem the franchise? Is it watchable, or is it just more and more utter garbage?
I don't know. I didn't see this one.
Okay. I'll substitute your absent view. My pal Every Trin Peters, who I fortunately was able to screen his horror movie. I hope he becomes a good name. He's a big Hellraiser fan. He had issues with it, and it was mainly just the portrayal of Pinhead. He did not dig it at all. And he's a big fan of the similar elements that it has to 7 and the last one, one of the earlier ones, Inferno. And he just couldn't get into it because he just didn't like the actor playing him. So I'm gonna rewatch this. Sorry guys, I should have prepped better for this, but I just had to. I didn't have any time. So, which is saying something. So, yeah. What can I say? This is a mixed bag of a franchise, and given how the first 2 were hated at the time but are loved now, and we're seeing all these reversals of some movies being watchable. Go at your own merit. Go at your own pace. If you like X-Files or Twilight Zone or even The Omen,
then run.
Oh, then run. Run, and then take a peek just to see if you saw something funny. And then go back. Run away, close the closet, and never come out. So... how would you rank this compared to other horror franchises, like similar gothic, Lovecraftian type?
I'm gonna call it a 5. 5 out of 10. I mean,
man, you guys love these 10s. I just do 5s. All right.
Just Hellraiser should be so much more than it is. It just got dragged down by so much god-awful writing, and
I mentioned
straying so far from the source material.
Yeah.
If they had released fewer films but stayed more true to Barker's writing, and over a longer period of time, this could be one of the all-time greats. It really could.
Yep. Well, at this point, I mean, you got just the show to redeem it. I know some people are already hating it because they didn't like what David Gordon Green did on Halloween. I barely remember the new Halloween, so I just don't give a fuck. I just like his other movies because, I mean, this is the guy who made Pineapple Express, so I know that's why everyone's also questioning it. He's mostly known for doing stoner-looking movies. I'm just whatever. I'm gonna. It's not like he's gonna direct every fucking episode. I think it's an HBO spectacle, so I miss the days of Tales from the Crypt, so I'm just going to let them do what they want. It can't be any worse than all the other cash-ins, in my opinion, so I can understand some people saying, fuck it, won't even watch it, but I think there's some hope. But you never know. It might be the absolute worst. So, with that in mind, when it comes out, I'll be sure to review it. Given how many other comedy shows I can't stand and makes me long for the days of Dream On and Larry Sanders, I could use a good horror show on HBO that is a tribute to their earlier anthology crap. So, I'll see.
We all shall.
Not like we can avoid it. It's coming. Some question of whether it's Deep Hurting or, Montezuma's Revenge, or whether it's actually going to be not half bad. Alrighty. So, where can we find the Nightmare Nerd?
As always, I am on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, and also on House of Tortured Souls and on Horror Hive. Eat, drink, and be scary.
Where can we find the Cinema Drunkie other than his website of the same name?
Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as my numerous writings on ultimateactionmovies.com, as well as actionflix.com, and my upcoming podcast, The Action Drunkies.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
I got
Daniel,
you.
do you want to be on the episode? I should ask the host.
It could be fun.
Yeah. Daniel said that he's got some stinkers for us to talk about. So.
Yeah.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up review show.